What's up, everybody? Hopefully that wasn't too loud. I hope everybody's well this morning, afternoon. I have no idea what time it is. Doing a live stream to me at this time is very weird. I'm not used to it. So I feel like I'm not set up and I don't know. But I didn't do any stream last week, or I should say on Sunday evening like I wanted to. Sunday night? Yeah. But reinstalled operating system on computer and did not go well. So we're here tonight, or this afternoon, I guess, to try doing a live stream. I hope the audio's well. I'm actually in a whole new entire room. I actually moved everything around the past couple days and have a whole new friggin' setup. So if anyone notices anything weird, please do let me know in the chat. We'll get to some things. Thank you, Jimmy. We'll get to some things. I don't know. What do we have planned? I got some things I want to talk about. I don't want to use that computer to look at them, though, because that computer's doing all the heavy lifting for said stream. Well, out of all the things, like, I spend all this time getting, like, this document ready so I can have, like, notes and stuff to talk about during the live stream. And then, like, I don't even have them ready. So we gotta switch some audio things really quick to that. Okay, that's a little better. We are what appears to be getting some dropped frames though, which I don't like. That's okay. We'll get into some like paintball topics, things that I would like to talk about. Okay, where'd it go? I have my list. So I want to talk about HK Army's new Magtek pack. I actually have one down there. So we're going to do like a quick look, first take, fresh opinions video. Then I want to talk about some paintball stuff that I'm selling. Paintball Ruined My Life Clips, or I'm going to call Ruined Clips a new YouTube channel dedicated to clips from this thing. We're going to talk about the ProFlex X and the V-Force 15-year anniversary profiler. As well as some NXL stuff and a new Virtue video. So I guess there's kind of quite a few things right there. My cable on my camera is looking a little bendy. But first, I don't know. We'll just see what's going on here. Yeah. I'm casually flexing on you with my Supreme hat. Not casually. I wear them in every single video. It's definitely not flexing either, because I am not a brand name person. As you can see with my Target sweatshirt on. Sweater, I should say. It's very thick though. I mean, it's nice, you know. Anyway, so what are we going to talk about first? Let's jump into... I will do this first since we're like, I don't know, talking about it, sort of. So definitely... there is a new YouTube channel that I created called Ruined Clips. In the very top of this channel, there's actually not a link, but I'm going to put a link at the very top of the description right now for this video. So if you want to go over there and subscribe at this moment to the new channel, it's going to be really dedicated to clips from the live stream. There's a link in the description right now. If not, post haste there will be as well. So the whole idea is that when we talk about things, right? Say like when I talk about, we're gonna switch around a little bit. The whole idea is, yeah, when I talk about like say, I don't know, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. That's what we wanted to do. When I talk about, that's also not what I wanted to do. When I talk about like, I don't know, things in this live stream, I wanna make them and dedicate them to that like clip channel. So really all I gotta do is search Ruined Clips in YouTube or follow the link, like I said, in the description of this video. You can find that, and then there's gonna be like little 4, 5, 3-minute clips that are just gonna be dedicated to that. Like you can see that first one is a track pants from HK Army. That was only 2 minutes long. And then the first time I looked at, or really kind of like talked about while holding the Field 1 Force, that one's right below that. So please do, if you want, go over, subscribe to that, so you can get I don't know, more paintball videos if you like to watch some of this paintball stuff. Gimp Gunfighter asked, Brad, do you shoot any real steel firearms? Nope, I don't. Corey, what's up? I'll see you later. No, I just don't shoot guns. I don't know. I have no like desire to like own guns. I mean, they're fun to shoot, but like, I don't know. I got no use for it. I don't really quite understand the self-defense thing because I don't put myself in situations where I need a gun to defend myself. Like, I'm more likely to get bit by a rattlesnake outside or like caught in an earthquake or something crazy than a gun shooting or need a gun. So, I don't know. I just don't know. Anyway, enough real gun stuff. What else? There's another thing that I kind of want to talk about that pertains to myself and some of this YouTube channel stuff. So often what I do, a way that I get products is I just buy them, right? Like, so sometimes I will buy things. Like most recently, a video on this channel was the, oh man, I don't have my like switcher up. I don't know why I didn't put my thing there. That's why this is a little funky. Yeah, one of the videos more recently that we did was the Bunker King fly elbow pad and knee pad review. And like when I buy those pads, I don't know what to do with them all of the times afterwards, right? Like I'm left with like just some random thing. So what I've done is I'm gonna start listing like some of the products that I buy to review or am given to review and start putting them onto that Paintball Ruin My Life's website. So you can find it, it's pretty easy. You just find the Paintball Ruin My Life store. You can go to paintballruinmylife.com/shop or pbrml.shop. Paintball Ruin My Life shop, it's pretty easy. There's a gear section right there. You click that, and then there's Bunker King stuff, and I got some Virtue things in there, some PB Rack things, some HK things. And I'm going to continually add things as I just really honestly acquire more products. Hopefully not lots of stuff. Because some of the stuff like I keep, some of it I give back or, you know, whatever. But the stuff just ends up sitting around here and I don't know what to do with it. So it's going to end up over there. So if you're curious about any cool paintball stuff and want to help support this thing, there'll be stuff for sale over there. And I'm actually going to have real pictures and stuff. I put those up today and I'm going to take real pictures of items and stuff like that to have for sale. Yeah. Thoughts on the J4 Torque? I don't know. Rumor has it they're coming back. They've been trying to make that gun for, I don't know, 5 years now, right? I think 2012 is the first time we saw the J4 Torque. Yep. I mean, I don't necessarily know if it was a bad design. I mean, it seemed okay. I feel like the problem that the J4 guys had, kind of like a lot of these paintball companies, is just availability of money, right? If they had unlimited money, all of the problems or issues they had with manufacturing could just be taken care of. But I think that the lack of money makes it hard to fix stuff, right? I know that they had a problem with ball detents and like some other things, right? So like you say get a pair of ball detents made, you got to get the mold made and pay for samples and everything. That's like $4,000, $5,000, right? And say that one's messed up. You're like, oh, we got to redesign it. That's another $5,000. And you keep like adding money on. So I think that their biggest issue was that they just didn't have enough money to continually like try to make stuff. And I totally understand that. And that's really the main problem we see with a lot of these companies, right? Like I feel like a lot of the manufacturers, we're not seeing a lot of crazy new innovative products because there's just not a lot of money there. The way we can help make cooler paintball things though is actually supporting your paintball companies, right? Like buying more paintball things or like buying casual stuff like hats and shirts and stuff like that. Because that's a way to like, you know, you get something, but some of the paintball companies are actually making money from that stuff. So I don't know. I don't really know. The J4 stuff, who knows? I'll believe it when I see it because we've been waiting for it for like 5 years. And until I have a gun in my hand, it's unlikely that I'll talk about it. Just because it's like just more and more rumors and like hearsay and like hopefully this happens and whatever. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. What else is on my docket? Let's see. Someone said something about the afternoon. Jacob made it to a live stream. Well, hello. I'm doing it like 6 hours earlier, so oops. Okay, what else is in here? This isn't necessarily like crazy new product, but We've been seeing like rumors of this, we'll say, for quite some time. But, man, I wish I had, I'm not like set up. It's kind of annoying. The JT ProFlex X. That's actually a red one. So for a long time, JT have made the JT ProFlex. I actually have, I don't know, a ProFlex somewhere. There's a ProFlex down there. I like the ProFlex mainly because of all of that ventilation. The things are just super breathable. But what was really annoying about the ProFlex for a very long time, kind of two things I don't like. I don't really like how wide the mask is. Coming up here in a second, there's a slide that'll show you how like narrow the new thing is. So it's very narrow in the front and then just, I don't know, normal width on the side. But I don't like that wideness, right? I like that sleeker, I don't know, like streamlined profile, but was always a big fan of all the breathability with the ProFlex. So I like that, yeah, more streamlined look like that is right now. It really kind of reminds me more of a Flex 8, I should say. Yeah, so I like that, like, I think streamlined style. And removing the lenses was always a problem too, right? You had to like peel the lens out of this thing. It was a nightmare. You could break stuff really easily, and it's just difficult. And it was very old school. So now they're updating it, and it's going to have a quick release lens. So I like that. So it's going to have quick release lens. Still take the old Spectra lenses. So it takes the old style lens that the ProFlex is currently using, just with the new goggle frame, and it's slimmed down. This isn't like new stuff, right? We saw this mask maybe about a year ago, but now it's hopefully going to start shipping in the next couple of weeks. I think that I was told that we would hopefully see it in early to mid-December. So hopefully like 3 to 4 weeks, we're going to start getting some. They're only going to come in black though. So like all these slides we're seeing here aren't real. Those are real. That black one's real. But the other ones are just like ideas of colors. Maybe we'll see those colors in the future if the mask does well. But at launch at least, they're only going to come in black. Like that one right there. They're $80. You can pre-order them now all over the place, like at your local paintball store or favorite paintball retailer, we're going to say. The JT ProFlex X. I'm curious what people think about that thing. Are you going to buy? Anthony, I hope you're well. I thought about you today. I was looking at the moderators of this channel, and I was like, oh, Anthony. Yeah. So, ProFlex X, let me know, for all you old school paintball players, I feel like, burping. A lot of you old school players really like the ProFlex, but like always, like myself, complained about, I don't know, having to remove, you know, the lens was a nightmare. So, I like that. Someone says, guys, is Carbon Gear worth the price tag? Seriously looking for pod packs? Their packs are definitely expensive. I typically will say, like, people are like, is Carbon worth it? And most of their stuff is not that expensive, right? Like their knee pads or elbow pads, you know, their bottoms, their top thing, the pants, jerseys, all that stuff is like typical good paintball stuff price, right? Like $180 for pants and $50 for pads. That's normal. Definitely their packs are expensive though. And they're made better than everything else. So if you like that quality, yeah, go for it. I actually did a review of both of their packs on this channel, so you can go find them. Watch those. Key West. Oh, Michael, hello. I wish I was in Key West, although California's pretty good. I'd rather live in California than Key West. Mainly because, like, I don't know when the ocean would overtake my home if I lived in Key West. But here in California, I don't know when the fires are going to overtake our homes. Yeah, so it's pretty bad. Hey, there's Eddie. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit here. Kinda. We'll do that right now. So something cool that came out like the past couple of weeks. We're going to switch over to my notes. Oh, I'm looking at something. Yeah, so something that came out in the past couple of weeks. Really, I think like 2 weeks ago, it was a new profiler. I'm going to drink this quick. I guess this isn't a new profiler. This is kind of a new color. Check it out. This is a 15th anniversary edition, limited edition V-Force profiler. So funny story that I will tell at the end of this like little profiler look thing. So, okay. So these are kind of cool. They're very limited. You get a cool certificate when you buy this thing. So they're one. Oh, this is, sorry, I was going to say one of 200. This is one of 200, but this is 168 of 200. You get, wow, this actually really nice goggle bag. It's very heavyweight. Sorry, it's super loud. Microfiber lined, very nice. I actually very much like this. Very nice, very nice. So these things are kind of rare, right? You're not going to be able to purchase these everywhere either. So these were a special mask that was really designed to sell only at a couple paintball stores. So there's a couple places that have this. You can find this at Black Friday Paintball Gear, although I think they're all sold out, guys. You can find this at BFP Gear or Black Friday Paintball Gear. This is a gold lens too. It's kind of hard to see in all this crazy ass lighting, but that is a gold, like, mirrored lens. You can kind of see it a little bit easier there. Yeah. So bfpgear.com, Black Friday Paintball Gear. Pro Edge Paintball. So you can get this at Pro Edge Paintball, the store, or proedgepb.com. Committed Paintball also have this thing at Committed Paintball, or the guys Boston Paintball, Committed Paintball, like the same thing. So BFP Gear, Committed Paintball, and Pro Edge Paintball, or at least 3 of the places you can find that. You can see it says, like, there's like a 15th anniversary badge on the side. You kind of can't see that. It's kind of hard to see. Then it's actually kind of like they did with the grills. It's hard to see it, but it says 1 of 68, or it says 168 of 200 right there. Kind of cool. So just like when they did like those Cowabunga, like Ninja Turtle grills, how they put like the limited edition badge thing on the side, they're gonna do the same thing with the Profiler. It's cool. I don't know how big I am on the white masks though. As you can see, it's really bright, you know? So when your head's poking out at stuff, it's just like, damn, there's a guy. It's like so obvious that I'm not a huge fan of the white mask. These things are rare though. So like if you want one, you should probably buy it right now. Yeah, they're kind of rare. It's gonna be super loud. I don't want to do it like that. We're just gonna deafen everybody. Folded. There's a bunch of air in there. I gotta get the air out. So I don't know. I just like to have like cool little knickknacks or things we can talk about, like stuff to show guys. So there's something. Oh yeah, that's right. I was gonna tell a funny Profiler story. So, man, okay. I was looking for my Profiler. I really like my Profiler, so I'm a fan of it. So let's see if we can see them on here though. We might not be able to actually see them. So see, like, there's this nose right here, and see that vertical bar right there? That's kind of hard too, but it's hard to do this. Like that vertical bar, right? I don't know, right there. That vertical bar. That used to not be there on those noses. So what's funny is you could actually get shot like right in this nose, and the ball would actually go through. So it'd actually go through the mask. And one time, when they first came out, I don't know, there were probably only like maybe a couple thousand like that or something. They're the really old ones. And one time I was playing, a ball went straight through the mask and like boom, just popped me on the lip and didn't break. It was like boom, and I got shot like on the lip. It was the craziest thing ever. I was just like, no idea what happened. It was so weird. Yeah. So thankfully, you don't have that problem anymore. So on the first version of this, not the 15th anniversary one, you get shot in the face. It really was not a good. It was not a good idea. It was not a design that went that well. Yeah. What are you talking about? We're gonna answer questions. If anyone has questions for me, go for it. Just ask away. I feel like answering questions. Then we'll get to some more things. Andrew, thank you. I actually like this. It's kind of big. I have a weird problem how like I'm tall and lean, so like larges sort of fit and mediums sort of fit. I need like a medium size. You can get it at Target. They're Target. Yeah. It was like $25, something like that. They're pretty cheap too. Here's a question, sorta. 29,000 shots on a GTek for $330. Good deal? I don't know if it's a good deal. It's probably right. I mean, $300 for a GTek's probably right. So, yeah. What gun under $800 would you recommend? I'm fast and speedy player on the field. Well, geez, under $800. I mean, you got a plethora of things. The GTek 170R, I mean, that's the best gun under $800, I think, that you can buy. But it is expensive still, right? I mean, maybe you're not willing to spend $800. Maybe like, I don't know, the Etha 2? The Mini GS is awesome. I still like the Axe a lot. So, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the HK Army Magtek paintball pack. So this is a really kind of traditional paintball harness that we saw from HK at World Cup. So they showed this off about a week ago. I'm gonna have an actual full review on this thing, hopefully very soon. You'll probably see this next week, maybe like 4 or 5 days or something like that on this channel. Not this channel, over on the main channel, or, I don't know, maybe on this channel, it matters if you're watching it. But the whole idea behind this is that instead of Velcro, hence the name, there are magnets holding those straps on. So we have, boop, boop, 2 big magnets. And what I kind of liked about this, I noticed first right away, you actually don't have to like line this up really well. Even if you like overdo it, like say you put the magnet way up top or something like that, it kind of like slides itself back into position. Without pods in there, it's kind of weird, but it definitely like snaps back on. It's pretty cool. I like it. It's nothing super crazy. I mean, it holds 11 pods. You got the 4 main compartments, 3 in the center, and then 2 on the outsides. To give you 11 pods in total. One of the things that I kind of noticed right away that a lot of companies aren't doing, I think this could add a little bit of stabilization to those pods, maybe make them stay in place a little bit better, is instead of having, let's grab a pod real quick. It'll make it a little bit easier to demonstrate. So one thing that, yeah, I noticed was that they actually put like the, see, you can kind of see like, if I put this like weird off or something like that, it kind of like pops back into place. So it's kind of neat. Yeah, so one of the things I noticed is that these elastic like top parts that kind of help secure that pod in place are actually sewn way to the bottom. So you can kind of see that elastic piece right there and that cutout, well, that's hard to show, but that elastic cutout piece, so they're sewn way to the bottom of this. So you have all of that tension right there. So I think that having that sewn to the bottom rather than like to the top portion like they're normally at right up here, I don't know, it just makes it a little bit more stable. It makes them a little bit more secure. And you can see that when you do that too, all that elastic, when the pod is out, kind of all retreats inside. So you don't have like elastic parts hanging out like you would on, I don't know, most of the other packs out there. It does not have a ton of lumbar support, just kind of regular back normal padding area. What I like, I know it's always super loud, is how they actually put a little bit of pad on these side areas. So for me, I'm mega skinny, and that's where my hip bones are. So I like how there's a little bit of pad right there to kind of ride up on my hip bones to help make it just that much more comfortable. I mean, I don't think it's that comfortable. It's just a normal paintball pack. It's nothing super crazy. They're made well, goes on good. I really like the design. I'm a fan of the way all those extra little pod holders look. How they put that like extra like little, I don't know, I think that's like a rubber taping job kind of thing around those. I like it. I think it adds a little bit more stretchiness and really makes them a little bit more durable. I do really like these. I think that they're made pretty well. This is the best made HK pack. So yeah, it's better than the 0G one, that's for sure. Or the Hostile packs or the Eject harness. So I like it. The HK Army Magtek pack. They're coming in 3 colors. You can get that blue one, you can get a red one, you can get a gray one. I think they're 80 bucks. 80 bucks. Yeah. Those are also something that are available right now. You can kind of get them anywhere, I think. Maybe not anywhere, but most paintball stores could have them. Yeah. And Jeff says age doesn't matter. It certainly matters, my friend. Certainly. When you get to be 48 years old like myself, it's gonna matter. But you did say stay in shape and you can play a long time. 100%, dude. It's just not getting fat and taking care of yourself, right? So you can live to have a healthy, productive life. Harley, tips for tall players. I don't know, how tall are you? I'm 6'5". I don't know. Play big bunkers? I don't know. Don't be too tall. I don't know. What's with the warning label on the pack? It's just probably normal randomness. What does it say? Magnetic field. Oh, it's for magnets. It says magnetic field can be harmful to pacemakers. Pacemaker wears stay back 36 inches. That's what the warning is for pacemakers. That's interesting. I never thought about that though. It's got a magnet in it. So like, wow, if you had a pacemaker, imagine that. You could just get like a magnet and just be like, boom, and it'd just kill you. That's crazy. Never thought about that. Thoughts on growing MagFed? I don't know, dude. I am so conflicted with MagFed that like, I truly don't know, because I'm back and forth with it. I'm like, oh, it's great because more people are playing paintball, and then like, god damn it, why do we have to look like we're shooting real guns at each other? So, yeah. Jeff Living House. He says, I'm 41 and play just as fast as anyone else. Yeah, it's hard though, right? Like, there's certain people, like I would say that I was gifted genetically. I hate to say that. But like, I got good genes, right? Like, I'm athletic, I'm healthy, a lot of things, right? But some people aren't, right? What if you're, unhealthy, you got a bad leg, whatever. There's lots of things that can hold people back, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to get better and just go have fun, right? You don't have to be the best. It's all about having fun, especially this paintball thing. But like, there's people like that are in their 40s that play professional paintball, There's professional NBA players who are in their 40s. That is crazy. Way crazier than paintball. So by any means, it is totally possible through fitness and diet. Yeah. Jeff says he's 6'4" and 175. Well, Jeff, I'm 6'5" and about 179. So we're about the same size. And Jeff, I don't exercise all the time. I would love to exercise. Well, why exercise every morning? Anyway, enough of this nonsense. What else we got to talk about? We talked about that harness. I don't know. I have like NXL teams on here. I was going to talk about like NXL teams moving around and stuff like that. Like the 187's kind of coming back, and Boom and Energy Elite are merging to make a new team. But I think that I'm going to like not talk about that stuff until we're finalized. One thing I would like to try to do is the start of this year. There's a little almond skin in my mouth. One of the things I want to try to do, like we'll say February-ish, is do like a 2020 NXL Pro Paintball preview video. So we'll probably go and talk about all those teams. I would like to talk about the GI, yeah. We'll talk about teams moving, so I want to talk about like 187 and kind of coming back, and then like we'll talk about Revo and Energy Elite kind of merging. We'll get to that stuff in like months. Yeah, so rumor has it GI Sports is going to pull out of the NXL. So GI Sports, Vladimir says, how about GI Selling? So we don't really know. well, we know GI Sports is for sale. I've known GI Sports was for sale for maybe a year and a half. They've been seeking something, whether that's like new investment or someone to take over part of an investment or something like that. I don't know. There's also rumors about GI Sports pulling out of the NXL and not being an owner anymore and just being a sponsor. I know that I shouldn't say no. I don't think that any of this is final. That's one reason like I don't want to talk about it, and I'm gonna wait until like people start maybe talking about it more. I do know that there were maybe some meetings with NXL owners this past week. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't entirely know what's happening. I'll reach out though. We'll figure it out. Maybe I can like break news or something like that. Hey, John Locke. The John Locke. Just check it. Well, not the John Locke. You know, the real one's long gone. Do you carry a gun? If so, what gun do you carry? We talked about that earlier. Like, do I carry, like, do I have a concealed weapons permit? Like, am I carrying, like, a gun on me right now, like in my fanny pack? No. Onto that stuff. I don't know. Again, we talked about, like, I feel like the reason for me, like, if I was to carry, I think the reason anyone carries a gun is for protection, self-defense, defending other people or something like that. But that's just insanity. I'm going to carry a snake bite kit around before I carry a gun around. Or maybe like some canned food or something. Like that would go to use far more than a gun. So, my favorite paintball player. Andrew asks, I don't know. I was thinking about this the other day. I think that one of my favorite players to watch is Brian Smith. Brian Smith plays for Tampa Bay Damage. Played for Mutiny a little bit the last year, maybe earlier this year. But I think Brian Smith is probably the player that I like the most. Like, I think that if I could play or emulate my paintball game off anybody, it'd be Brian Smith. He's not that popular. I mean, a lot of you probably don't know him, but he's smooth. So good. But I think the best player right now, really probably honestly for the past like 10 years, is Alexander Brindakov. Brindakov is absolutely amazing. He might be the most talented, naturally skilled paintball player ever to live. I think of like Oliver, Alex, and like, yeah, those two dudes are so good. Konstantin Fedorov, someone said not Fedorov. I think Fedorov's very good, but I don't think he has that like, man, what am I like? There we go. Oop, that was weird. Yeah, I just don't think I don't think that Fedorov has that like, I think Fedorov has the like skill, right? I think he has excellent, I mean, obviously, excellent snap shooting and laning and running and shooting and diving and getting to places. Like, he physically does all those things very well, and mentally he does things very well too. But like, man, you watch Brindakov play and like some of the stuff he does is just insane. You know, like it's like, what are you doing? Oh, okay, all right, that worked out. So I think that like when I talk about like they play at the next level, like Brindakov, Oliver, and then maybe A-Rod, Axel, or not Axel, Alex Rodriguez from Dynasty. I think that those three players for sure just kind of like see this game differently, right? It's like, how is he shooting 4 guys a game and just like standing in back center or something? It's like, what is happening? These guys just mentally play this game differently. And I think that we see that in other sports too. I think that like Rajon Rondo is a good example in basketball. The guy just sees things differently, and those guys play at a level that like you can't teach, you can't do anything. It's just like their natural ability to just see paintball. So I think they're very good. So that's Brindakov, I think, is why he's the best player.
Jeff.
What do you think of New York Extreme's antics on the field? I like the word antics. I like how it's quoted too, because like, there's a couple things. Like I originally didn't like it, right? And I think not 187. I think that New York Extreme, initially they were being assholes and like talking a bunch of shit, and like that's how they play, and that works to an extent. I have played against teams that do that, and it for me at least, it definitely affects me, right? Like it pisses me off, and I can't play well. So it works when they're like trying to get into heads of people. It totally works. One of the things that I don't like that though, just because I'm not that person. You're not going to see me doing that. So when I see people doing that, I don't like it because it's coming off as rude and disrespectful and like whatever, all these things. But I do feel that like as it went on, right, maybe like by the second event, maybe halfway through the second event or something like that, guys started to kind of like do it back to him, right? We saw like Trevor Reeser talk shit back, or like, you know, random people try to like get in their heads too. And I think at that point it kind of became fun, right? We kind of saw it be like, they're kind of messing with them. They're not really serious. It's kind of just for fun to get excitement going. So I like it. Yeah, I'm not one for like guys arguing with referees like in the NBA, or, you know, complaining, just being assholes, but it does kind of provide excitement, right? Like it makes me interested. Like what's going to happen in the New York Extreme match, or like, you know, I don't know. It just makes it kind of exciting. I think that we talked about this last time in the last live stream, that at World Cup, Pat Kraft, when New York Extreme was where they were playing the Russians, Pat Kraft, they won their first point, sort of went over there and was like trying to talk shit to a Russian guy, and he's like, did something. I think it was Karslev, or like, I think it was Karslev. I don't know. Pat Kraft went over there, Russian guy is like, and then Pat Kraft's like, okay, sorry. And he was like, okay, it's all cool, it's cool. I was like, yeah, you don't want to talk shit to those Russians. I'm like, it's funny when it's like Americans, because like, we're kind of all the same, right? Culturally, we kind of get it. We understand that like, he's talking all this shit, and like, he's kind of serious, but not really. The Russians are not our culture. So I think it's different. So, yeah. Russian Legion, the Russian guys, we're just different. So I think that he might have tried, and it got a little weird. I thought it was funny, though. I thought it was pretty good. Mm-hmm. That was funny. What else is on here? We're going to rifle down my list. So, speaking of pro paintball, Virtue put out this video the other day. Not that video. That is a ProFlex. Not that one, that one, that one. This thing right here. We'll put some audio on there. What am I doing? I'm moving the wrong audio slider around. Okay, so Virtue put this out the other day. This is the finals match from World Cup, where we see Houston Heat. Right there, there's your guy Konstantin Fedorov playing the Red Legion. Russian Legion, Moscow Red Legion, whatever we want to call them. It's the whole match, just raw footage. Kind of follows the Houston Heat guys around, goes in their pits. You can hear them talking.
Hey, come on, boys, let's go, get back in.
How about mid on? Stay safe. Where did you get stuck to go in there?
They had Dakota and DJ. They were Dakota or tequila on the other side, probably. So sure that, like, hey, wipe up Nico's shoulder, your left shoulder, Nico.
Hey, what side we are?
This side.
Hey, I need pods, guys. Hey, tequila, no problem. We can make it.
Tequila?
So, yep, maybe if you want to watch raw footage from World Cup, you can find that if you search back-to-back. I don't know, back-to-back Virtue, Paintball, something like that. If you find Virtue's YouTube page, you can find a video, or there's a link, you know, in the description. I don't know, I don't really like the color grade. I don't really understand why there's so much goddamn contrast, and it's so, like, desaturated. I don't know what's with, like, the black bars and, like, the gradient, like, fade. I don't know. Other than that, it's cool. Just the contrast, like, we don't have to be so contrasty. Anyway, enough of me complaining about that. So it's cool. They can go watch that if you guys want. I don't know. That's all. That's all I got. I don't know. I don't have anything else to really talk about. Someone said, Renee, profiler, ProFlex X. Yep, ProFlex X, that puppy right there. We'll hopefully see pretty soon. I think that you said something about when. I think in like 3 to 4 weeks is when we should start to see those ship. Only in black though. You're not going to get that colored one like that blue one. Or all these other colors. Blue, gray, they have a white one. All kinds of things. Brad, let's do a Paintball Ruin My Life barbecue or cookout. But I have a feeling that we're all over the country. It's going to be difficult. If we were all located centrally in like Kansas, that'd be cool. X Factor will probably have the first ones. Well, maybe. I mean, they're out very soon, and like, there's no paintball. I mean, X Factor's done playing paintball, so they'll probably be, I presume, using those this coming year. But I don't know. We might see me have one first. I want one. Oklahoma's centrally-ish located. Wasn't the like state capital going to be like Cheyenne? No, not Cheyenne. Wasn't it going to be like Kansas City or something like that at one point? Long time ago. Obviously, not the state capital, the country capital, the capital. What do you call that? The capital, right? That is possible. It's possible that X Factor may have like those cool teal ones or something before everybody else. Kind of like how they have the like, I don't know, teal ProFlex or whatever. Dog over there. I think my dog has Cushing's disease. We got some blood tests yesterday. Cushing's disease is when your adrenal gland is kind of continually pumping out. So like you're continually have this cortisol hormone in your body, which does all kinds of weird things to you. So that's not very fun. The nation's capital, there we go. I was like, you don't say, I guess you could say the United States capital. That just sounds weird. But you would say the nation's capital. That is definitely a better way to say that. Well, guys, I don't know. This was definitely an impromptu live stream. So I feel like anyone got more questions for me, shoot away, or I'm gonna skedaddle. Andrew, what's the highest division you've ever played in? Division 1. So that was when like Division 1 was like semi-pro though, so well, I guess it still kind of is. They just don't call it Division 1, they just call it semi-pro, so yeah. Timothy, do you have a job? I have many jobs I fulfill in life, this being one of them. My favorite dead paintball company. Wow. So I worked for Angel for a while. Like I worked... heartburn, do I experience it? No. Acid reflux disease is a problem that is mainly controlled by poor diet. I don't have that problem because I don't have a poor diet. What was I talking about? We do not have to talk about acid reflux disease. A favorite dead paintball company. Man, I don't know. Yeah, like I said, stream will be up later, but I'm probably, well, maybe tomorrow morning or later today, I'm going to watch it and do timestamps and all that stuff and then re-upload it. So if it's not live later today, it will be tomorrow morning. So yeah. Dizanas, I don't even know how to pronounce that. I have not tried them before. I've seen that stuff. That's about all though. God damn, I keep getting distracted. Favorite paintball company. Okay. So I worked for Angel for a long time, for a number of years. So I think that like, I would instinctually say that, right? But like, I don't really care. Like, I don't know. I liked Angels, but like not really, you know? Like, they were kind of a pain in the ass. So like, I don't know. Star Trek shirt, no, that's not Star Trek. This is not a Star Trek uniform. I would need to be black and red, or like blue and red, or yellow and red. I could have my engineer's uniform on, be wearing yellow. This is almost yellow. It's gotta be yellow, not like brown mustard. That just shows my nerdness right there. So I lean toward Angel because I worked, you know, like around that, but like, I don't know. I don't know, honestly, like, man. I think that the companies that went out of business are the ones that sucked. You know? I mean, for the most part. So it's like, I don't know. I'd have to look at like a long list. There are so many paintball companies. It's kind of lost. Airgun, but what would Airgun do? You know, like I think of like old products that I like that might be cool now or like could be refreshed. But it's like Airgun design, like what, you know, they don't make anything. Like there's not a single product that they used to make or, you know, whatever that could be cool now if they redid it or anything. Angel at least made cool electric guns sort of for a while, you know. I guess, I don't know, that's not necessarily true. Maybe it would be kind of interesting to see a new mag. I mean, all this like, you know, mechanical stuff is coming back. But the problem is I think that like if they were to make a new mag, it would be similar in size and all this stuff to an E-mech. And like, E-mech's $200 and there's no way you're gonna get a mag for $200. Unless it's just weird made in China, but then it's not a mag. You know? I don't know. Do I currently work for a paintball company? I do not. I probably would not be doing this if I worked for a paintball company. Because then I wouldn't be able to like talk shit about all these companies. Yeah. This is interesting. Andrew asked, do you think if they recorded and edited NXL events and then showing them would grow pro paintball? I don't know. I think that it would help. I mean, I think it's more watchable if it's edited. Because there's so many times when it's like, oh, great move, and like we don't see it because they're doing something else, and I don't know. I think that editing it would be good. I also think that like when Go Sports, like say Go Sports Today or PB Nation or Go Sports put up on YouTube some full matches, and they're like 2 hours long, right? It's like, cool, that's great. I love that. It's awesome. But I also think that it would be great to take that 2 hour thing and then just make it 15 minutes, you know? Paul, you're the first super chat. Yes, I'm gonna continue talking about this really fast and then I will talk about that. Yeah, so I think that if the NXL took that 2 hour thing and made it into like 2 separate videos, like one of like Dynasty and Heat and the other one's whatever, X Factor and Revo, you know, whatever, those matches, and took that hour-long match and made it 10 minutes, right? By just taking the highlights and kind of crushing it together, right? Like, I don't need to see the 15 seconds and 20 seconds of them just shooting gaps. You know, we want to see movement and points scored, so take that 30 seconds that's in that 5 minutes and put it in that video and just take highlights and make the videos. They don't even have to be highlights, right? They could be like, if there were 10 points scored, just like condense every point down to 30 seconds or something. Like chop it all up and just put it out there. So the NBA does this very well. They literally just take highlights and put them on the internet. There's no voiceovers, there's no graphics on the screen, nothing. It just starts from 0 in the clock and they just run it out. So it works very well. I like that idea. That's something very easy they could do. And I think that would help because that makes stuff shareable. Like, it's way easier for me to share and talk about like a 10-minute video than it's 2 hour video. You know, like, I don't know. I'm just not going to talk about or try to go through 2 hour videos. So, okay. Paul with a $5 super chat, dude, I really appreciate that. One of the reasons I do live streams is for super chats. So I appreciate it. You said, have you ever had problems with paintballs and the cold? Absolutely. So, like anything, right? Think of paintballs as water, kinda. There's really just water on the inside of there. Essentially, the shell and the interior are mainly just water. So as it gets colder, that shell gets more fragile and brittle, just like ice, right? So if you have a thin layer of ice, it's cold outside, it could freeze and just get brittle. And the same thing's happening to that shell, right? As it gets colder, it just gets more fragile. So you're gonna have problems, whether it's with like, you know, a Tippmann 98 or a CS2. Either of those guns, that's a high end or a low end, can definitely have problems in the cold weather. So there's two little like things that I like to do for cold weather. I think that keeping your paint in the car, right? Or just somewhere warmer that's not directly outside, whether that's like deep in a gear bag or like, I don't know, shoved into something where it's warmer. Or what I do is when it's cold outside, to get a little bit more moisture into that ball, is I actually get my hand wet open up the bag of paint and kind of like move my hand all up in around that paint to kind of get that moisture, hopefully absorb into that ball a little bit more, and then make that paint a little bit more moist. And typically adding a little bit of moisture makes that ball a little bit more resilient. Yeah. Man, there's all kinds of like cold weather paint issues. Yeah, but sometimes there's just no way around it, right? Some of these manufacturers do make like cold weather balls, like there's the Frostbite that's specifically made for cold weather. But normally that stuff's designed for like 30-degree temperatures. So if it's like 55 or something like that outside, 50 degrees, that's not really cold enough. We really have to be like in the 30s or something like that for that like specific winter paint to perform well. Yeah. LV2s, I have a feeling we'll see an LV2 in, I don't know, maybe about 4 months. Yeah. That's all I know. Yeah, I thought about that. Eric said, use a cooler to keep the paint warm. For sure, that's an excellent idea. So it's insulated, right? It's going to keep the ice cold inside. So that means it keeps stuff temperature regulated. So putting warm stuff inside will do the same thing. So it's hard. I mean, winter and cold weather in paintball, we've always had that problem. You know. Yep. MAGA, make autocockers great again. Oh, you know what? Today, as I've been watching these impeachment hearings, I watched all days, almost the whole things. I watched for like 3 hours this morning. It's great, you guys. If you have an opportunity to watch impeachment hearings live and you're an American, I would recommend it. Whatever side you're on, whatever you're thinking, whatever crazy thoughts you have in your head, yeah. But it's just a big deal, right? Like the president's trying to get impeached. Like that's a big deal. You'll look back in 40 years and be like, oh yeah, I remember watching that. That was crazy or whatever. So I'm watching it more for posterity reasons. Just like HK Army have a headband that says make paintball great. And they actually have a barrel cover with Pepe the Frog on it. I kind of want to like buy those two things and kind of just keep them. Because like look, 40 years later, when I'm like 85 years old or something, I'll be able to pull out this headband and be like, man, remember paintball? And remember like that crazy, crazy impeachment thing that was going on? Wow. I just think it's cool to have those things maybe. We're living through history, guys. Getting lied to and sold out by your elected officials. I noticed the chat started slowing down when we started talking about impeachment. We're not going to go too deep into that. That's as much as I want to talk about that. What do you think we can do as a community to try and help build up paintball again? Paul, another one. Yeah, we'll talk about that, Patrick. I will talk about that. Last question. Well, I appreciate it, man. I'll answer all your questions. You super chatting, you're getting freaking questions. How do you make a custom mask? I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know. Let's say 3 separate ways you can make custom masks. So for sure, you could just customize it by buying different pieces, right? Like, I don't know, you could buy 2 masks and mix them together and just make cool colors. Like Virtue, you could do that with Virtue. Virtue has a lot of mask parts you can buy individually to make cool colors. People are plasta dipping stuff, so you can get like hard masks and you can dip them in stuff and you can plasta dip them. Not maybe plasta dipping or like hydro dipping people are doing. People are painting masks with like airbrushes and stuff. Those are actually really cool when people do that. Or actually know people that have like masks and put Halloween masks on top of them. So they're cutting up like pieces of Halloween masks and putting them on the bottom, or like making it just on the top part. I think that's what you ask. So that's like 3 ways you could do it. Yeah. But other than that, like that's about all really, because the lenses, right? Like if you have a JT mask, you have to have a JT lens. and you got to use a JT bottom, and you have to use a JT frame and all this stuff. So you can't really like mix and match brands really. Like you can't use a Virtue lens on an Empire mask and stuff like that though. So yeah, I think so. What else? I was gonna talk about. Yes, Patrick asked. Patrick asked, what do you think we can do to? We're gonna start again. Patrick asked, what do you think we can do as a community to try and help build up paintball again? I think the best thing that we can do as a community is just be good, right? Don't be an idiot. So one of the things that I think is really unfortunate is that like whenever we see products that people don't like or something happens, everyone just freaks out and talks all this shit. Like, why don't you try to be supportive, right? If a company comes out with a product you don't like, just don't buy it. I mean, you don't got to go around and like say how bad it is and how awful everybody is. And I also feel that like at paintball fields we can be more inclusive and helpful. If you see a kid standing over there by himself and like kind of looking over at you guys wanting to play or something like that, go over there and talk to him or her or they or it or whatever they want to go by. I think it's good to try to like help people because I always talk about this. I talk about how like we go to these paintball fields and like say you want to try to play airball and speedball. So many of these airball and speedball fields are dominated by teams. And if you don't have a team, you can't play. So I think it's very important that we try to like include newer people. So if you see that person standing over there or someone not having fun or they're scared or something like that, go help them have more fun playing paintball. Don't beat up on new players. So much of this paintball thing is because of us, right? People aren't really gonna see something on TV or the internet and go play paintball. They're just not gonna do it, right? Very few people are just gonna go do stuff by themselves. So it's very important that we are good to people and make them feel welcome, or having friends that go play and taking people to go play paintball. I think that stuff's very important. Because the problem is not that paintball's expensive. It's not because it's whatever. A lot of it has to do with paintball people just sucking, right? Like, me saying that, right? Like me saying be a better person for paintball. So when you ask yourself that, like, what's the best thing to do? Be like, what would Brad do in this situation? Not like, I'm gonna be an asshole and like just overshoot these little kids or something like that. So just be good, you know? Yeah. Yep. Because that's one of the things that's cool about paintball is that like anybody can do this. You literally stand there. If you can sit, you can play paintball. Anybody can do this thing. So yeah. People just suck, man. Like, they just suck. And I think a lot of that people sucking thing, it might have to do with the paintball fields. So, one thing that I'm gonna try not to do is be negative. I'm constantly negative about paintball. Yep. I'm constantly negative. So me being negative is not helpful for anyone. So you don't agree with saying make paintball violent again? Because I don't. Well, paintball was never violent in the first place. So, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. I think that's just people wanting it to be like the old days when we used to just overshoot everybody and it was stupid. Paintball, the actual game of like professional paintball and like speedball, airball is better now than it ever has been. And it will continue to be that way, right? Like players are gonna get better. The actual game, I think skill-wise and like team-wise and all that stuff will continue to get better. But how we like incorporate and add new people and actually make the overall game of paintball better is important, because I want people that have A5s. Like Chris, he had an A5 and just bought an Etha 2. I want people like Chris, he's a newer player, to feel welcome and like do whatever he wants with paintball, not feel like, he has to play speedball, or like, I don't know, maybe if he wants to play speedball, he doesn't want to feel like he can't because it's impossible to go play. So, yeah. Andrew says, back in the day when we shot 15 balls a second, no one complained when they got overshot. No one really complains when they get overshot now. People complained all the time when they got overshot back in the day. As somebody who's played all throughout paintball, people still complain just as much. Maybe less now, actually, I think about getting overshot. Maybe because it's just not a big deal. Maybe we just don't overshoot as people as much anymore. One of the problems with back in the day, and I think one of the reasons people did get overshot more, and we shot people more than needed, because guns weren't as accurate. I think that maybe have something to do with it. I don't know. Chris says, I find all types of paintball fun. So do I. I think that's what's good about paintball, right? We can go play mag-fed. You can go play pump. You can play with a semi-mechanical gun. You can play with an electric gun. You can play in the woods and hyperball and the airball field, and like there's all these different ways to do this, and we forget about that. I think that a lot of the tournament players or woodsball players or mag-fed players forget about the other side, and like we're all just playing paintball here. So yeah, I think it's important to just remember we're all just having a gay old time shooting up some bad guys. If you want to spend less than $200, what paintball gun should you buy? Gosh. Well, I'd just buy an EMEC. I mean, you got to spend $20 more, but I'd buy an EMEC. Yeah. Less than $200 though. Man. Sub $200. What's the best sub $200 paintball gun? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Don't remember. I can't think of anything. I think if I want to say Tippmann A5, but Tippmann just raised their prices. So now I'm like, I don't know. The Enemy? I think the Enemy sucks. I think it's a piece of shit. Don't buy the Enemy. You're better off with a Tippmann Kronos, for sure. I cannot stand the Enemy. For a while, the like GOG Enemy was like kind of neat because it shot high-endish, but like the thing's a piece of shit. They're not made well. The solenoid sucks. It's all plastic. The trigger, you gotta like, just like pull the trigger back super hard to get it to shoot. So now it's like the Enemy and the EMEC are out, so there's no point to buy an Enemy. It's so worth it to spend the extra money. The Zodin KP, I thought of that too, and I was like, a pump gun? But I'm like, no one wants a pump gun. $200? I freaking Tippmann Kronos or something, really. Like, I don't know if it has to be under 200, but. Zach asks, would releasing layouts the day of the tournament make it more exciting? I think so. I'm a fan of blind layouts. I think what would actually be kind of interesting is we did two things, right? So I think that releasing the layout before the tournament, so say they release the layout a couple weeks before the tournament. Chris! Keep up. I appreciate that. $5. Thank you. Keep up, Brad. I will do my best. Your videos helped me going from a Kronos. Your videos helped me going from Kronos about to paintball to playing all the time. No idea. Well, I kind of get the gist of that. Thank you. I appreciate that. I like the Kronos. The Kronos is... Oh, from Curious. I'm sorry. I completely read that wrong because I kept saying Kronos earlier. I read that as Kronos instead of Curious. Your videos helped me going from curious about paintball to playing all the time. That makes way more sense. I can't read. Well, Chris, I appreciate that. That's one of the, like, I think advantages, at least that I would like to do here, is provide, like, you know, real feedback and, like, real information. Not just, like, here's what you should buy or something like that. So Paul asked, would releasing layouts the day of the tournament make it more exciting? So I think that releasing the layouts before the tournament. So right now we're releasing these paintball, like the NXL releases the layout for the tournament like 3 weeks-ish in advance. And I think it's 3 weeks. I don't know, maybe it's a month. I don't even know. So they're releasing the layouts ahead of time so that all these paintball fields are setting up the layout, and then the paintball teams can come practice on that layout so they're prepared for the tournament. So what happens there is you're getting all of these paintball teams going to paintball fields and playing paintball, right? So they're spending that money to play on the layout. So I think that if we got rid of the layout releases, right? Like you didn't release the layout before the tournament, you released it like Thursday afternoon, you know, whatever. I think that a lot of those teams would still go play paintball, prepare for the tournament, but I don't think they'd play as much. So I think releasing the layouts early makes people go to paintball fields and play paintball so that these paintball fields are getting customers. And you're also getting people like me that like to go and watch the practices or try to go play the field, because when I play the field, I feel like they have a better understanding of what the layout plays like. So when I'm actually watching the tournament, I can like be like, oh yeah, that bunker, I was at that bunker, I remember that you can shoot this way or something like that. So I like having that like firsthand knowledge of the layout. So I think that releasing them early is good for paintball fields, and it makes them more money. So I think that's very important. I think a way that we might be able to like remedy that situation though, is have them only released for the divisional teams. So like release the layout, right? Here's your layout for the tournament. But then maybe have the pro layout release only on Thursday. So we play two different layouts. So you get like the divisional layout and then you get the pro layout that are different. So that we're seeing teams, I don't know, play a brand new layout for the first time at the tournament. But I also am not really sure if it makes a difference, right? I think that these teams practice the layout a whole lot, right? Playing for weeks on the layout, shooting 200 something cases of paint sometimes. But we always see it change, right? You see a team play the first day, and then the way the field plays is completely different the second day. So even though they're practicing a ton, I don't know if it makes a difference. I think that they do learn bounce shots and maybe like the flow of the side and like the breakouts and stuff like that, but I'm not really sure it like makes it more or less entertaining because it changes so freaking much. You know, like the way the field plays in the prelims compared to the finals is massively different, you know? So I don't know. But I definitely feel that like having the layouts released ahead of time is good for the paintball fields. So yeah. So I am for releasing layouts because I think overall it's a better idea. Bounce shots are such a gamble, though I feel like it's useless. I'm with you, dude. There was a tournament, like the last tournament I played was 2013. Like the last PSP I played was 2013. And my job was to shoot a bounce shot on one breakout. I had to shoot a bounce shot like almost the whole time. So I was shooting like 8 pods at a bounce shot, and it's like, god damn, dude, it's so wasteful. Like I feel like I shoot 8 pods at a bounce, and like, dude, 2 balls might go in. It's like, god damn, it sucks. I don't know. All right, guys, I'm out of here. If you want to re-watch this thing, I'm definitely gonna do like, I'm just gonna re-upload either tomorrow or this evening. And I definitely find that when I do live streams like this, I am way better. Because it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, not 6 p.m. I get up at around 4:30 every morning. So 1 o'clock is like toward the end of the day. And when I'm trying to do these on Sunday, like I get up at like 5 a.m. or 4:30 to 5 a.m. every morning. And like when I try to do these at 6 p.m. on Sunday night, like I'm exhausted. And I like can't think straight and all kinds of stuff, so. Palmetto Paintball, I think that's how I pronounce that right. Appreciate that. Thank you, sir. All the $5. I like $5, good increments. This goes for Brad and everyone in the chat. Okay. What does everyone have more fun doing? Electronic, mechanical, pump, or mag fed? Like the views, by the way. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that super chat very much so. I truly do. You're getting answers. I don't know. I like mechanical. Yes. Well, it matters, right? Like, I like electric unless I have a good mechanical gun. Because if I have a Tippmann 98, I would prefer, you know, my 170R. But if I really like the EMEC. So I really enjoy playing with the EMEC or the 170R, like the CVO. The M170R, I should say. So I like those, like, newer mechanical guns, and I like to play with those. I think they're very fun. So I prefer them over electric ones. But it kind of matters, right? It kind of matters that situation. I definitely don't like pump. I just don't want to pump the goddamn thing. Just make it semi. MagFed's cool if I have first strike, but only if I have first strike. If I'm not using first strike rounds, I feel like I'll just use a mechanical gun, you know? Yeah. I like mechanical just because you're just shooting, you know, like... Yep, I like that. Like Jacksonville Paintball says mechanical is fun. It's slower, more inclusive. For sure, I think that one of the things that, like, say you're playing with a bunch of rec players or rentals, and you have an electric gun, even if it's like a mini GS and it's $300, right? It's nothing super crazy, but it is leaps and bounds better than those rental guns. So sometimes when you're going out there with an EMEC, they see that it's just like, you know, a cheap, like mechanical gun. So they're not as like discouraged or whatever. So I do think it kind of like makes people feel a little bit less discouraged. It is so much easier just to get an inexpensive, you know, EMEC. You get a $300 setup and it's friggin' awesome. So I don't know. Okay, guys. I appreciate it. This is a long one. Yeah, so we'll chop this up. I gotta go. 1:30. Gotta go. Yeah. I don't know. Now I'm just rambling. I appreciate it, guys. Everyone who's super chatted is freaking awesome. It's amazing. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Although, what is having some technical issues here? Oh, there we go. Yeah, so everyone who's super chatted, I much appreciate it. Rank, thank you for coming by here and keeping tabs on all these out of control kids. I appreciate it. Yeah, so today's Wednesday. We saw an HK Army video, HK Army case video. I think I released that on Monday. I don't know. If not, there's definitely going to be a Magtek video pretty soon here. And some new paintball gun reviews coming too. Die CZR. I don't know if that's going to be too exciting for a lot of you guys, but the CZR video will keep, like, I don't know, getting searches and stuff. Anyway, guys, enjoy the rest.